I wanted to comment about the harming of the Secretary General of KMPDU, Davji. He has Indian names, but I have somebody I know very close whom I consider as my son called Mr. Wong. And when I asked him why he has a Chinese name, he said that his father used to work for a Chinese and he loved the Chinese, so he named his son he named his son Wong. Maybe this doctor, they have relationship to a very good Indian called Davji. I want to comment about the attack on Davji. First of all, I'm shocked. I'm shocked that as per the time of recording this, no police officer has either apologized or explained or both. They have kept quiet and maybe in the mistaken belief that with the time things will be forgotten and people will move on. That was bad. For such a thing to happen, a senior police officer would have come up publicly to explain the thing from the police side and even to regret on behalf of the office for what happened. Kenya, we have had demonstrations and the demonstration by medical personnel is the most peaceful. They are intellectuals. They did everything. They informed everybody. And I don't think, I was not there, and so the tapes we have are they are not covering the whole period, so I'm not in a position. But I can authoritatively say that these are not Kibera people. Doctors are not Kibera people who will start throwing stones at the police. And even if the people start throwing stones at the police from Kibera, they are not supposed to be hurt the way Dr. Davji was hurt. The thing should be condemned. The individual, just as I'm about to start talking now from a professional side, the individual who did it is known. Because when you go for a riot, the armed party, there are two different armed parties. There is the one that has a gun. Both have guns. There is one that has an ordinary gun. An ordinary gun that at first they'll use rubber bullets. And if the riot becomes so dangerous, then the inspector can decide on whom to be killed. First of all, maimed. You see, the first thing is use rubber bullets. If it doesn't happen, you use bullets, but first of all, you aim places like maiming and so on, so that shooting is the last option. But there are occasions when rioters are so much, like the Haiti case, that you have only one option, and that is the last option. But this one is by intellectuals and the people who are very civil. I think the police should have handled them with great care and maybe recorded that mandamano so that they can take it to other places where they usually we have mandamanos where people throw stones and tell them this is the type of stone throwing. when the inspector decides that somebody has to be shot, whether especially by a gun or even by grenade, when somebody is noticed, they say that armed party, the tall fellow with the AFC Leopard, third from the left, fire to disable or fire to kill. Police, usually even the recruit from Kiganjo, is supposed to make an independent decision as to whether or not to shoot somebody in any circumstance, except when it comes to riot. Riot drill taught to recruits in Kiganjo is that for a firearm to be used against rioters mob, the inspector or any other senior officer in charge is the one who decides. Not only does he decide that the firearm has to be used, he decides whom to be shot. Says the tall man in AFC Leopard t-shirt, third from the left, one round of rubber bullet on the leg, shoot. And if I continue, then then there is no option and say, in a riot system, which of course the doctors were not rioting, it is the officer in charge of the riot who decides who is to be shot and what type of shooting. Is it rubber bullet? Is it maiming him or even killing him? So whoever was in charge, whatever happened, he is responsible together with whoever used the gun against Daktari. Number two, those people armed with the various weapons are known. And for a case like doctors is not like that case of where I've mentioned, where you find that the riot party is those with the rifles and whatever. There are so many that you cannot trace. Handling a peaceful demonstration like that of a doctor, you may even find that you have only two armed people. One armed with the tear gas and the tear gas gun, and the other one armed with a rifle with both blanks and live bullets. So identifying the person who harmed him is easy. The other thing I have to say is that because I'm going to talk about the mechanism of that gun when shooting, but I'll talk about the mechanism of that gun when shooting. That is one, and how different it is from others. But I have to say here with a lot of authority that for you to shoot that thing and land on somebody's head, you have to be at close quarters. So the chances that it was thrown and it accidentally hit the person, what we usually call stray bullet, is not there. Because if you look at the mechanism of a gun that releases tear gas, it is in such a way that it is not like an ordinary gun where you can shoot even up to 1 kilometer away from the target. So it is quite possible that the officer aimed at that person, whether he had been sent or he had panicked or he did it purposely, but he was at close quarter, a place where he would have been told. They usually are told by inspectors. Of course, I'm an ex-inspector. Is that grenade moja mbele ya adui and grenade moja nyuma ya adui. It so happens that it is usually the tear gas. You have heard me saying grenade. Yes, a tear gas is a grenade. The tear gas is thrown ahead. First of all, you look at the wind movement. wind movement, so that you throw it in such a way that the smoke goes to the rioters, and it is done such a way that it is about 4 or 5 steps away from the first line, or behind the last line, the last person. So for you to be so near and aim it, that one has to be condemned. How does this, it is an ordinary tear gas. First of all, I said that tear gas is called a grenade. That is why it said grenade moja mbele ya adui, or grenade moja nyuma ya adui. This thing, if you look at it, it is made like a grenade in such a way that you remove a firing pin, it goes that way, just like a grenade, and then it fires itself like a grenade. But grenades do release pellets, but this one releases irritating smoke. Irritating smoke. The name tear gas is just a name used by people. It is an irritant. It is an irritant gas that is combined with things like pilipili and so on, such that it irritates your body and your elementary canal. So once you pull out the pin, it hits the canister just like it hits a canister just like a grenade, and then when the firing pin hits the packet, it removes the smoke. But there are guns. If you have seen a riot gun, usually towards the end, towards the muzzle is the mouth. Towards the mouth, you find it is so big. You wonder what type of a bullet is placed there. No, it is that way. The size of a metallic cap, they place that one there, and they don't remove the firing pin, so that when the armed party shoots, the gun releases an ordinary bullet, which hits at the back of the tear gas. The tear gas is what you see police on their belts. It hits at the back, and because of the force of the bullet and the back of the tear gas has already been penetrated, so the gas starts coming out. This is usually used at distances where a hand cannot be thrown there. And this mdomo kubwa can be used. We have some guns which are permanently for riot, and others you fix that one and there. So here the police were wrong, and the police would have even recorded the kind of demonstration these people are having, so that they go to places, huko. They go to huko place and tell those guys that this is the way peaceful demonstration are done. It is bad for people to do, and you see that thing, when it hit the Davji, it hit him like being kugongwa na rungu, being hit by a club. So his head was hurt just the way you could hit him with a Maasai metallic club or something like that. For that unfortunate thing, I felt I should give out my personal opinion and condemn it.